of the 100 days of coding challenge. So far, it's been an experience. It was a little rough this past 10 days. Some days I felt like just going to sleep and not finishing it, and sometimes I finish like at 12:14, 12:20. But I've still done it, and I still kept on going, and I'm really happy about that. And it's a good feeling when you dedicate yourself to a craft that you love, and you just work on it, and you just focus on it for back to back days, and that's the only thing you're doing. You grow so much in that time. I've learned so much, and I've worked on so many little different things that I've met a steady growth rate over the past 20 days that I can feel. So that's it's just an amazing feeling. But anyway, one of the things I worked on for the past 10 days, well, the past 3 days, well, two 2 days. Okay, just being honest, just 2 days. It didn't take me that long to make this. Oh, no, 3 days actually. Yeah, 3 days. I'm lying. Okay, so the past 3 days I've been working on. I created a resume in Word, and I was gonna turn in this resume, but I wanted to instead of just turning in this resume, I wanted to do something else. So I decided to recreate this resume using HTML and CSS. So here's well, wrong thing. Here's the resume I created. As you can see, pretty much almost identical, if not just off a little bit. Some things that weren't perfect, I couldn't get to, like the font. They used a different font on there. They use Century Gothic, and I found something that was similar to it, but still not quite there. As you can notice in the font, in the large fonts and the smaller fonts, the sizing is a little off, but I had to adjust it a bit to make it fit within the page limit. Also, Century Gothic font cost $35. I'm not gonna pay that. But yeah, so pretty much, it's pretty identical to the other one, image and everything, and it's responsive. I like for this page here. Let me get the responsive two out of here. So, well, you can already see that when it's tiny, it's still pretty great. And actually, I have it set to a limit where it doesn't go past 8.5 width, and I have the height set at 11 inches where it doesn't get past that. Like, it's the height stops there. I don't want it to go past 11 inches because just like a normal piece of paper, 8.5 times 11. I kept that in mind, and yeah, made it responsive. Like if we wanted to view it on mobile, like let's say we're viewing it on our iPhone X because we're flexing and we're big balling. Yep, still looks great. You can still read it. Okay, wow, see, amazing. Regardless of what media you viewed on, a Pixel 2. Yeah, same thing. It still looks great. iPad Pro going a little bit bigger of a screen. Still looks great. The max width set at 8.5 makes a big difference. And then I left the width to be flexible so that it can just shrink if it needs to, but not to a point where it's just ridiculous. Like for instance, if I put it on responsive, you could shrink it all the way to here. Like this is probably as tiny as it get, but who's gonna view it on that small of a screen? Not no one. That's just an extreme. That's just too an extreme, and I'm not making this for extreme cases. So yeah, now we're gonna go look at the fun part, the code. All right, let's start at the style sheet. Well, we can look at this, but I'm not a fan of HTML that much. I rather let's look at the CSS. Um, so looking at the CSS, you can see that I made it this that I did a lot of commenting in here. I like to comment heavily. I need to put some more comments here. They're kind of self-explanatory. Like this is the header section, like header H1 and header H3, the header div itself. But I'll probably put in more comments in there. So just for the future references, so I just don't have to like assume. I'm trying to get better at commenting and making sure I understand what's going on. I set up a grid. It had one, two, three, four, 5 rows. The first row, that's the margin for the paper. This is the margin for the paper. So if you look at the paper over here, this is the margin. This is the margin. 5 inches, 5 inches, 5 inches up there, 5 inches down there. And this paper also has the same margins: zero point 0.5 inches, zero point 0.5 inches, zero point 0.5 inches, and zero point 0.5 inches at the bottom. Did the same over here, and then this is where the content really comes in. Right here, at the 2.5 inches, and the 4.7 inches. This is just a little margin in the middle right here. Set up the same little margin right there. I don't like this big spacing over here. I'm probably gonna edit that a little bit and try to make it look a little bit cleaner. Um, but yeah, did the same thing. Set up that gradient and set up rows. I set up 1, 2, 3, 4 rows, but once again, I'm only using just 2 rows. The first and the last row are just margins, and I'm pretty sure you've already noticed that I have the min and the max here. Min and max, saying that this 0.5 is the max, is as far as it goes, and 0.1 is the least it's ever gonna go. And if you add them all up, if you add the maxes up together, 0.5, 2.5, 0.3, 4.7, they all equal up to 8.5. And if you do the height maxes, they equal up to 11. Pretty much following up the scheme of the paper. So yeah, set up a grid area, made it super easy. Set up an area for photo, the header, the site information, and the main content information. And then after that, I just applied the information where it belonged. I used the grid area over here to place the photo, grid area for the header, and then I did a grid area for the site container, and this is all the information that's in the site container. And then we get down here, grid area for the main container. Yeah, I just applied styles, selectors, and just added everything in there that needed to be. Um, Great template, great display grid is a great feature. I use it to build a lot of my sites, and it makes it so much faster. It reminds me of Bootstraps. I know how to use Bootstraps, but I'm just practicing not using it, so I have some. So I have a foundation. So if I ever want to go in Bootstraps and change things up to make it work for my page, and not just be like, oh, a drag and drop. Oh, he just used Bootstraps for everything. I just want to be like, oh, I use Bootstraps, but I changed up the style and I changed up a couple of things to make it more unique to myself. But yeah, that's really about everything. It's responsive, and I like it. I'm gonna turn it in. I'm gonna upload it to GitHub. Uh, Turn it in for my resume. And yeah, let's see how that goes. All right, day 20. We're out. How do I stop this? Oh yeah, here we go.